What's up, buddies? This is Minsoo from the Buddy Force coming at you with my X-0 Winnipeg Remote Duels Phantom Knights deck profile. I've been playtesting the deck a lot, and it's a very powerful deck. It can potentially play through a lot of disruption, and it's relatively rare, so you don't see a lot of people playing it, so you can catch a lot of people off guard that way. I played against Earth machines, ABCs, Zombie Eldritch, and Adamantipator Kids. So obviously it was a bit of a mixed pool, but I believe the deck performed very well, and let's get started. So starting off, obviously for any level 3 base deck, you're playing 3 tour guides. I shouldn't have to explain why you should play these. Tour guides are just always just really powerful. They can get you she can grab you grab, and then off of that, you summon Seer after going into Cherubini, and then you just make your full board out of it. And for my other 1-card starters, I'm playing 3 Phantom Knights or Torn Scales. This isn't quite as good as Tour Guide because Tour Guide can end on a Fogblaze set, and Torn Scales usually can't. However, Torn Scales, I would say, is a little more resilient to hand traps because you're getting the discard, and that discard can be something like a Phantom Knight, which can help you extend. So overall, they're both very good, and yeah, I wouldn't even think about cutting them down. For my other Phantom Knight lineup, I'm running 2 boots, 2 cloak, 1 gloves, and 1 greaves. I know a lot of decks like to run 3. I personally wanted to cut them down to 2 because boots is specifically good when you draw it with other Phantom Knights, and I wanted to run other extenders that can potentially be extenders when you get hand trapped if you don't draw your Phantom Knights. Greaves I actually think is really good. I wouldn't run it at more than 1 because if you need it, you're gonna send it either off of Rusty Bardiche or Cherubini, but it makes it so you can dump it when you if you summoned Cherubini using either a tour guide or 2 non-PKs, and if you have another Phantom Knight in hand, you can send this, banish to summon the Phantom Knight, and you can go from there. For my level 3 extenders, first I'm playing 3 Kagemusha Knight. This, I would say, was my personal favorite out of all extenders, specifically because it lets you chain block with Tour Guide. And the fact that you can just summon it off of a normal summon of any level 3 monster makes a lot of your hands much, much better. I'm also running the Wielder and the Psychic Tracker. These were also very good. And if you draw this with the Tour Guide, if your Tour Guide gets stopped, you can summon the Psychic, still going to Cherubini, send a Graph summon Seer, and just go from there. These were were really good. They really helped me power through a lot of different situations, and next time I might actually include the emergency teleport in the deck, which I'm not running, just because these did that well. And lastly, I'm playing the Jackalope and the Tsuchinoko. These are fantastic because they act as both extenders and discard fodder. You can discard them off of Torn Scales to make him go +1 instead of going even after you search off of the Ancient Cloak. They can also help you cycle through your deck and any other potential powerful cards that might help you win the game, like Cosmic Cyclones, or hand traps, or other extenders slash starters. For my Burning Abyss lineup, I'm running the Libic, the Graph, and the Seer. Graph and Seer are pretty obvious, but Libic, I think I should probably explain a little more. Libic's Seer because it prevents the hands that you open Seer from being total bricks. Without Libic, I noticed that if I drew the Seer, a lot of times my hands would be basically dead. If I drew the Graph, I was fine because Torgai can summon summon Graph from hand, but Seer, you don't want to be summoning Seer off of. You don't want to be summoning Seer either by its own effect or Torgai because you won't actually be able to revive the Cherubini, which is the big utility. And that's where Libic comes in. Because if you either A, draw the Seer, then you can summon Libic off of the Seer, and then you can just combo off from there. Or if you draw multiple Burning Abyss monsters, you can use it as an additional special summon to allow you to go into Cherubini and combo off. And if you just draw it by itself with a way to go into Cherubini, it's just another extender because then you can special summon it under a Cherubini link zone, and it just acts as a body since Cherubini protects it from being destroyed. Now, for the last of my level 3s, and also the last of my hand traps, I'm just playing 3 Ash. These were my only hand traps because I wanted to cut down on hand traps as much as possible since this is a very mid-rangey format. I wanted cards that could provide me value by getting rid of the cards instead of preventing combos. And I run them instead of something like Lancia or Gamma or Draw Unlock, specifically because it's a level 3, so if you break, you can normal summon this and special summon any of the extenders, and off of that you go into Cherubini, and then you're back on course to combo and make your full board. For my vanillas, I'm running the Red Ice Black Dragon and Dark Magicians to enable the Red Ice fusion. And obviously this is to summon Dragoon, which is one of, if not the best boss monsters in the game right now. And moving on to my spell traps, I'm running 3 Pot of Prosperity. These are fantastic. They're flexible. Because you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and you can select whichever one fits the situation at the time, which can be either a starter, an extender, or other utility cards that might help you win the game in that situation. I'm also running 3 triple Tactics Talent. I'm running this because Phantom Knights are a combo deck, so you want to try and make your combos go through, and these let you either guarantee the rest of your combos go through or extend if you get hand trapped. Specifically, the third effect is fantastic because being able to look at your hand and shuffle a card into the deck is very powerful. You get complete hand knowledge, so it allows you to plan out your next turn, since a lot of times the opponent will try to bait out your negates so they can break your board. And they also get rid of any additional hand traps if you get hand trapped. For example, if you got your Rusty Bardiche Ash, but you still have an extender that lets you combo afterwards, you can triple Tactics Talent and shuffle back a hand trap to make sure the rest of your combo goes through. For my last utility spells, I'm running 3 Cosmic Cyclone. I chose these because I expected a very heavy back row format with a lot of invoke Dogmatica or Eldritch within Winnipeg because this tends to be a lot of control players within the city. That ended up not really being the case today, so I might end up moving them to the side deck in the future. And for the one-ups, I'm playing Rhoda to search Kagemusha Knights, PKs, or Torn Scales, Monster Reborn as an extender, and the Call by the Grave to allow you to play through more hand traps. And for my Phantom Knight Spell Trap lineup, I'm running Rank Up Magic, 2 Fog Blades, and Shade Brigandine. I know a lot of deck lists run 3 Fog Blades. For me, I noticed that when I was comboing, I would usually go through 2 Fog Blades instead of 3 during my turn, and my end board should be good enough that I can kill them off of my end board instead of needing to grind and combo in turn 3 to kill them like Dragon Link does. Shade Brigandine, obviously it's an extender. You can set it off a Rusty Bardiche and activate it on the same turn. It also lets you make the Dragoon and the Dark Rebellion off of a wider variety of hands. So I definitely think it's very good. And Rank of Magic is obviously there, so you can go into Dark Requiem. That was my main deck, and now to the extra deck. I am running 1 Red Ice Dark Dragoon. You saw the Red Ice Fusion. It pops 2 cards, it negates, it gets bigger, it's indestructible, and it's untargetable. When this thing hits, it's usually game over, and there's really not much else I have to say about it. For my Xyz lineup, I'm running 2 Break Sword. I'm running 2 just because in case you go second, you might need a second one later if you use the first one to attempt to break the opponent's board on the same turn, and if they couldn't recover, then on your turn you can make the second Break Sword, get its effect, revive 2, and make a rank 4 or link off to attempt to kill them. Usually when I'm comboing, I only go through 1, and if a lot of times I tend to actually banish one of these off a Pot of Prosperity, so I am considering cutting it down to 1. I'm probably going to keep it at 2 for now, but that is definitely a consideration. And for my other rank 3, I'm running Levier. It gets you back your Phantom Knights. You can use it in different combo paths, and it gets you another body on board. So I like it a lot. If you draw additional extender, that's when you can really use the Levier. Though sometimes it just is useful if you can't make the rank 4 to go into the Levier, bring back the Phantom Knight, and then go into Verde Anaconda to go into Dragoon, so you have additional resources for next turn, because sometimes things don't go to plan, you get your combo disrupted, and you're not able to go with plan A. And I am running the Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon to go into Dark Requiem. Dark Requiem's fantastic. You can negate monster effects equal to the number of materials it has, since it's not once per turn. And it also revives an Xyz monster, so it gives you more link fodder for next turn to potentially kill them with. And for my last Xyz, I'm running Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Obviously, this card's very powerful. This is primarily the reason why Zoo is even playable, in my opinion. I've personally never made it, because a lot of the times, if I could go into the Zeus, I would this deck would rather go into a link monster like access code, or go into Verde Anaconda and then summon Dragoon. So this is in consideration to be cut, but for now it's just really powerful, and I just thought the potential situations where it's good just didn't come up. Like, I think against something, a control deck like Eldritch or something like that, Double A Zeus could potentially be very powerful. Now for my Link lineup. My only Link one is Link Spider. This is here so you can turn your Nibiru token into an effect monster to go into Verde Anaconda. Usually, I would probably never banish it off a Pot of Prosperity unless I know the opponent likely isn't running a Nibiru, or if I can deduce that they don't have a Nibiru. However, a lot of times if I'm going first, I'll keep it in when I Pot of Prosperity just so I have a backup plan if I get Nibiru'd. Because a big thing about this deck is that Nibiru does hurt it a lot. I've done a lot of work with ratios and practicing combos to make sure I can play around Nibiru. And Link Spider is one of the things that really help you play through it. And for my Link 2s, I'm running Cherubini. This is the funnel that the entire combo goes through. I'm running IP Masquerena as a way to still combo if you draw the Red Ice Fusion. And Verde Anaconda, which I will make the rest of the time if I don't draw the Red Ice Fusion. The Link 3s, I'm running Nightmare Unicorn and Rusty Bardiche. Unicorn's there so IP Masquerena has something to go into to provide me with a source of disruption. And Rusty Bardiche is my other combo funnel. It dumps a Phantom Knight and sets a Phantom Knight spell trap. It also destroys a card if I summon a Dark Xyz in one of its zones. So it just enables everything you want out of the deck. For the Link Force, I'm running Access Code Talker and Appaloosa. Access Code is there in case you're going second to attempt to break their board and end the turn. Sometimes you'll make it off in turn 3 if you need something, if your current board isn't strong enough to close, but usually your board should be strong enough that you can win off of it, but it's there in case. And Appaloosa is here because in certain hands, if you draw 1 or 2 extenders, you can go into the Appaloosa and have the prevent your combo from being Nibiru'd. Because as I said, Nibiru can be very detrimental, and Appaloosa just makes your combos a lot safer. So that was my extra deck, and in my side deck, I was running 3 Lancia for Dinos, 3 Drone Lock for Dragon Link, and other potential shenanigans, 3 Nibirus for combo decks, 2 Droplets for any combo decks and decks that might summon singular monsters that might be very problematic. When I was building the deck, a big point of contention for me personally was whether I run Droplets or Dark Ruler No More, because Dark Ruler No More is better for actually getting rid of the cards, but Droplets allows you to chain to certain monsters like Abyss Dweller that would just end your turn outright if you let them activate. For me, and that's actually something that came up So I was really happy with droplets, and I might actually move them to the main. I'm also running the Harpy's Feather Duster and 3 evenly matched for back row removal, because I expected a lot of back row decks to be present at this tournament. Uh, they ended up not being, but I'd probably still keep them in there just because you can. It was just off of one tournament, you can never know. And that's my full deck. Overall, I was really happy with the deck. As I said, I went X-0. I beat Earth Machine, which I 2-0'd. I beat ABCs. Game 1, I comboed and won off of it. Game 2, he had Torrential Tribute, Dragoon, and ABC Dragon Buster, so I wasn't winning that one. And Game 3, once again, I full comboed. And then round 3, I played against Eldritch Zombies. Game 1, I lost thanks to Super Poly. Game 2, I ended up full comboing to a degree. It was a slight bit of a grind, but I was in control the whole time. And Game 3, I opened heavy Harpy's Feather Duster and full combo, so he just couldn't recover off of that. Last round up against Adamantipator Prankets. Game 1, he did brick. But he ended with, I believe it was a Quackimiru Guardian, so nothing special. I baited at the Quackimiru Guardian and I tried to combo, but then I got Nibiru'd. However, I had the Ash Blossom and the Fog Blade for the follow-ups, and I had an additional 1-card starter, which was Tour Guide, to play next turn and extend and win. And then Game 2, he opened full combo. I didn't have any hand traps, even though I sided in Nibiru's. And he made Appaloosa Savage Dragon plus Abyss Dweller, but I opened the Forbidden Droplets, so I was able to chain droplets to his Abyss Dweller, sending Cloak and 2 other cards, and I had a Kagemushin item in my hand, so I banished Cloak, searched, I want to say Gloves, normal, special, going to Cherubini, full combo. So things I would change, as I said, I'd probably move the Cyclones to the side deck. I'd probably move the Droplets to the main along with an emergency teleport. And other than that, I don't think I would really touch anything else. I was really impressed with the deck, and I'm really happy with the ratios of my combo pieces, so I think they'll all be staying. One tech I'm thinking of is Gillosaurus, especially if there's a lot of there can only be ones, as we saw during the LCS with the number of Prankets decks that ran it. But other than that, I probably wouldn't change anything. Anyways, thanks for watching, and peace out.